I'm very conflicted right now, and not just because I'm coming to you from a different bathroom. I miss the old bathroom. I have said time and time again how much I love cInEsTIlL for the years I've been uploading videos on this channel. But cInEsTIlL is allegedly out here suing other film companies and retailers.
Why?
For the great crime of using the name 800T. And I say allegedly because it's all about the he said, she said bullshit. cInEsTIlL claims they're not suing anyone, but Cat Lab seems to feel a little bit differently. This is already annoying me. Now, is there actually a lawsuit?
I don't know!
I didn't see anything in the public record. You can't take everything you read online at face value, especially if it bolsters your pre-existing opinions. Hi, I'm an echo chamber. After reaching out and talking to Cat Labs, it seems like this whole thing is a battle of semantics. The threat of a lawsuit versus the actual lawsuit, that type of stuff. But honestly, let's leave the lawyering to the lawyers. In my opinion, that's not what's important about this story. What is important is the way cInEsTIlL is behaving and the desire to claim ownership over the 800T name. Now, some of you might be saying to yourself, Cine who, 800 what?
What the hell is even that?
I mean, if you're following this channel, it's probably not you, but play along for a second. Let's try and break this down for human consumption, because I know not everybody here shoots film, and not everybody's a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a guy sitting in his bathroom talking to you, so this is not legal advice. Not to mention I made a community post about this and like half of you had no idea what I was even talking about. Now, keep in mind I'm oversimplifying here. Oh my god, okay. That's good. There has been a resurgence in shooting film, that's why many of you are on this channel. Considering the demand, it enabled companies like cInEsTIlL to jump into the arena. So what exactly is cInEsTIlL doing? They're taking motion picture film created by Kodak, they're removing something called the remjet layer, they're respooling it, and then they're selling it as 35mm film or whatever other format you're buying. You get the idea. As the consumer, you're paying for the film and their labor. The remjet removal makes the film easier to deal with if you're developing it at home. cInEsTIlL had a ton of success, they expanded, and then a bunch of other companies popped up doing the same thing. And there's the problem. cInEsTIlL is not okay with other companies basically doing the same thing they're doing. And it is important to note, it seems like cInEsTIlL is only going after these smaller companies. It doesn't seem like they have any interest in going after a bigger company like, say, B&H. This is a real B&H story. cInEsTIlL issued us a cease and desist letter, and we said get fucked. They've even contacted people who are just reselling stuff on eBay. Couldn't help but notice that B&H and Urban Outfitters are still selling Amber T800, that doesn't violate the trademark, oh wait. But here's the cringe, cInEsTIlL actually does have a trademark on 800T.
What? What the fuck?
They applied for the trademark in 2021 and received it in late 2022, and let me tell you, they did not waste any time using that trademark. Does cInEsTIlL have a right to protect their investment and their trademark? Absolutely yes. In fact, according to some, they kinda have to. Ultimately, failure to police unauthorized use can result in your losing the legal right to enforce the mark against unauthorized third-party users. That's from the law offices of David H. Schwartz Incorporated, which sounds like one of the antagonist law firms from Better Call Saul, but we'll get past that. However, I don't think that trademark should have ever been granted in the first place. You know who happened to agree with me on that? The US Patent and Trademark Office. They originally rejected cInEsTILL's trademark application for 800T on the grounds that it was too generic and was simply descriptive. They only awarded the trademark after cInEsTIlL appealed the decision.
Wow.
Here's something a little awkward. I guess Kodak makes time machines too and went back in time to infringe cInEsTILL's trademark. Does present an interesting question to ponder though. What happens if Kodak decides to bring back their 800T? Do you think cInEsTILL is going to send them a strongly worded letter saying, hey, you really shouldn't name it that because people might get confused?
Hey, I doubt it.
It's really hard to look at this situation and not find cInEsTILL's actions as purely anti-competitive. And as someone who believes in the free market, this just doesn't sit right with me. 800T is not a name, it's a technical descriptor. 800 refers to the ISO, T refers to the color balance of the film. It's the same thing with the old Kodak Visions, 250D, 250 ISO, daylight balanced film. Bro, you own the number 800 and the letter T? I guess I'm Sweelu Fugraphy. I don't want to infringe on the ownership of the letter T. What are you guys gonna do? Send out a firmware update to every camera in the world so that they can't use 800 unless they pay for the cInEsTILL DLC? What are you guys, Unity? And doesn't this just open up a nasty precedent here? What's stopping another film company from trademarking 50D next and then saying, oh wait, cInEsTILL, you can't use that name, I have the trademark?
Honestly, Where does it end with you people?
I can't imagine why they're so concerned about people getting confused over the multiple versions of 800T out there. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they all come from the same fucking film. I mean, gee, the logos look so similar, I can't even tell them apart. After things kind of exploded on Reddit, cInEsTIlL and Petapixel joined hands and tried to perform a cleanup on aisle 800T. Which I think only made things worse. Ooh, angry mobs and misinformation. Ooh.
Oh, my favorite.
The article is linked below, you can read it if you want, but the TLDR is it reads like a PR piece for cInEsTIlL. I think what particularly vexed me was the way cInEsTIlL acted like they're just some small operation. Just over a dozen people, which is itself a small business.
Are you serious?
Grounds, the local coffee and donut shop, is a small business. One that I love. They have 12K followers on Instagram, they serve the community. That's a small business. cInEsTIlL, get real. You have hundreds of thousands of followers, every post you make gets tons of attention. Your film is used globally. Grounds isn't mailing donuts to fucking Portugal, okay? You may literally be a small company with only a few employees, but in the film world, you are not small. You have some of the most popular film right now. Every single YouTube film channel I know of has at least one cInEsTIlL video. You guys are massive in the film world, and you really should know that the people in the community you say you care so much about would take notice to crap like this. When talking about their communication with the smaller companies in question, cInEsTIlL said, "In that communication we made suggestions on how they can change the listing so that they won't turn up in those searches anymore, but could still be found by people looking for an ISO 800 speed tungsten balanced film. This was not us sending out cease and desist, but emails directly to sellers offering to work with them on solutions." It's all very casual, just some emails. I'll tell you though, there's some very specific wording going on in this article. There is no lawsuit involving cInEsTIlL. We have not sued anyone. Any statements suggesting otherwise are simply false and misleading. cInEsTIlL saying they've issued no cease and desist letters, they've taken no legal action is hilarious. What do you call this?
Objection!
Sure, Cat Labs requested it, but you can't really say that you've never issued one, can you? I never toasted that Polaroid film. I just happened to be recording a video and the Polaroid film happened to fall into the toaster and the toaster just happened to be on, okay? I never toasted it. I absolutely toasted that film and I regret nothing. cInEsTIlL describes its interactions with Reflex Lab as respectful and mutually beneficial. I wonder how Reflex Lab would describe the interaction.
I didn't sleep well for 1 month. They act now like they were very amicable.
This is probably a good time to mention that when I asked Reflex Lab if Petapixel had reached out for comment, they hit me with a
No.
I am shocked. Shocked!
cInEsTIlL tells Petapixel that sometime last year, a quote, wave of generic knockoff and counterfeit cInEsTIlL products started to pop up in China. Think fast, which of these is cInEsTIlL and which is Reflex Lab? Can't tell the difference? Okay, how about these? They were both Reflex Lab. And this is the root of everything for me here. Counterfeit cInEsTIlL products? Bro, these all come from Kodak film. It is completely fair to talk about standards and quality here, right? If someone's removing the remjet layer with their piss, okay, maybe this is worth talking about. But is that really what we're talking about here? Let's be real here. Without Kodak, would cInEsTIlL exist? Maybe cInEsTIlL is legitimately trying to protect their product and Cat Labs is just blowing this whole thing out of proportion.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
But none of that changes the fact that this trademark is a load of shit. I'd like to remind you of an old YouTube story. How many of you remember the Fine Brothers? These dorks made a killing with their React format. Basically, they would take old people or kids, they would make them watch stuff, and they would film their reactions to it. Now, they wouldn't have a lasting blot on their reputation if they didn't decide to shake things up and try and copyright the word react.
Not a great plan.
Well, they learned you can't trademark a word in the English language. They ended up rescinding their trademark application only after getting dogpiled by half of YouTube, losing tons of subscribers and permanently damaging their reputation online. No big deal. And unfortunately, I think cInEsTILL's going on the same path as the Fine Brothers. They're not going out of business, they're still gonna sell film, but when the dust settles on this, there's gonna be tons of photographers out there who are saying, man, what a bunch of scumbags. So what's the solution? I think Reflex Lab should rename their 800T film Sweet 800. See what I did there? Make it happen. That could work. cInEsTIlL, if you end up watching this, and I really hope you do, I want you to know that I don't hate you. I'm sure that was keeping you guys up at night. I've made tons of videos about your film in the past, and I hope to keep doing that in the future, but you gotta act in good faith here. You should release that trademark. Let the free market decide. If yours is truly the superior film, the market will let you know. As for you, my precious little Eggy, the film enthusiast, I'm not telling you what to do or how to live your life. I'm just giving you my opinions here, and I'm not trying to defame anyone. If this stuff bothers you, I've linked a Reddit thread of 800T alternatives below. Vote with your wallet. It's the most effective way to have your voice heard in a situation like this. Alright, bye.
Like and subscribe. Sweet Loop Photography. Domain.